there is a case to be made for and a case to be made against the Apple iPad, especially the Apple iPad mini. Now, I've been listening to a lot of the criticisms against Apple when it comes to the iPad, and some people are saying, why is it that Apple is making the iPad a big iPhone? All right, number one, the camera issue. I think one thing that these Samsung fanboys hate more than anything is being at a concert or being at something and seeing somebody holding an iPad up and recording everything that they're seeing. I can almost understand that because me personally, when I see somebody holding up something the size of an iPad to take video, I'm wondering to myself, this makes no sense whatsoever. However, the thing about it is when you have an iPad Air or you have one of these iPads that has one of these really big hard drives, you're talking about 64 gigabytes or 128 gigabytes worth of hard drive space, which allows you to record video for between 5 and 10 hours. So in some, in some respect, it kind of makes sense to have an iPad used as a camera. It kind of makes sense. I know someone, for instance, who uses an iPad as a camera regularly to record their employees' performance, and then they use that in order to rate their employees. And having all of that together where you do your productivity work kind of makes sense. I mean, it really does make sense. As far as I'm concerned, as a black Republican, I say let the free market decide. If people don't want that, then don't buy it. But it appears that people do want it, because one thing about Apple is they constantly do market research and they see exactly what the trends are, what are the people buying. You have a very sophisticated camera, a motion coprocessor, which most people are saying, oh, well, why would I need a motion coprocessor? I'm not walking around with my iPad, man. I'm walking around with a phone. Well, the simple fact is that some of you people don't seem to understand that some of the productivity apps that some businesses use require a person to carry around an iPad. Like, for instance, insurance adjusters. They need a camera to take pictures of insurance claims. They need cameras to take pictures of this, that, and other, whatever it is. Some of them just take pictures of checks. Some of them take pictures of just about anything that's required for the file. In the long run, what it's doing is it's cutting down on the necessity of having a fax machine, right? Think about it. So the camera is one aspect. Now, one thing that always bothered me about Apple was the fact that they never made it so that you could make voice calls from the iPad with the exception of Skype. In my opinion, and as a small business owner, I say that it would be so much better to be able to make voice calls with the iPad. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, Apple should be making all of their iPads with a connection for the LTE SIM card. Because as far as I'm concerned, if all of these things had the SIM card ability, then people could randomly, or whenever they felt like it, people could simply buy a SIM card and they could buy a plan on a cellular carrier and they'd be able to instantly get their iPad online rather than having to be at the mercy of the Wi-Fi. If you go to an airport, you got Wi-Fi, but if you're in some area that has cellular but has no Wi-Fi, you're asked out. As far as I'm concerned, all iPads should have the access to Wi-Fi and LTE. You may remember about 2 years ago, I think I bought a iPad mini LTE. I don't even use it. I gave it to my girlfriend. But my thing is, it's like all of them should have had that. But Apple knows what they're doing. That's why they're so profitable. They keep you coming back for more. And you're waiting for the next big thing to come out from them. You decide whether or not you want to buy it, and that's that. A Retina display on the iPad mini, do we really need that? I mean, yeah, it's nice to have it if you're really playing games. And I guess that's what causes them to do these upgrades. It's because these things are very powerful gaming systems at this point. I mean, they're putting 64-bit processors in phones. I mean, most people never thought we would have gotten to that point. I mean, that phones are more powerful than the average desktop. As far as I'm concerned, iPad should have a, what is it called? HDMI out, mini HDMI out. You should be able to use Bluetooth keyboard, Bluetooth mouse, and HDMI out to almost have an iOS desktop portable wherever you go. And all you got to do is just plug it right to a HDMI port. That would be cool. But Apple will never do no shit like that because it's something that I would come up with in order to become more profitable. But what they'll do is they'll wait 2 or 3 years and maybe release it then. I really think the iPad line it's been advanced. It's been taken pretty far. It's the thinnest pad that you could possibly get. It makes the Samsungs, it makes all the LGs, it makes everything else look cheap. The Amazon Kindle, nobody wants that. Everybody, this Christmas, you can bet that there's going to be a run on gold iPad minis. There's going to be a run on them. There was a run when the first iPad mini came out during Christmas. I never like carrying big stuff like that around. I like having my iPhone 6 Plus. I really like the iPhone 6 Plus. And I know I'm going to have this phone until iPhone 7 comes out because I'm not skipping over to a 6S. I'll wait, so this way I'll benefit from everything the 6S had, and I'll get the 7. I just feel that there's so many things that could be done with the iPad that Apple should be doing, but they're just not going to do. So hopefully, if you're a jailbreaker and you know anything about programming, if you're listening to this, hopefully you'll come up with something like that because that would be really awesome to be able to do stuff like that. But, I really like what I saw from Apple. I'm a little disappointed after buying a 27-inch iMac that, now they got the 5K out. But then again, mine costs less than the 5K. The 5K starts $2,500. But, I don't know. They've got great, sexy products and everything. But, again, this guy talks about thinness over battery capacity. Yeah, you're making sexy, thin devices, but most people would say, listen, give me a bigger battery instead of thinness. In fact, I bet if they did a survey and said, which would you prefer, thinness or bigger battery, most people are going to pick bigger battery. And that's why I'm waiting for the Mophie for the iPhone 6 Plus to come out. Should be about $100. I'm definitely going to buy that because I would just love to have the extension. I'm not having any problems with battery. I'm getting in through my entire workday on one battery charge. But I would really like to have the Mophie just so I could extend it even further for when I'm on vacation or whatnot.